Hello, hello. Welcome back to day three. Thank you so much for joining us again for day three. We're going to be talking about the Lazy Girl Money Manifesto. And this is a different way to think about managing money. All right. So I want you to just think about this for a second. And this is how we think with the Lazy Girl Money Manifesto. We think about what if instead we decided when we have a whole bunch of money come into our account, we do our wants first, our goals second, and our needs last, needs/expenses. Because right now, this is how we think about money. A whole bunch of money comes into our account, whether from a client payment, a paycheck, some other way you make money, right? The money comes in and you're thinking about that pile of money. And most of us think, oh, I'm going to, with this pile of money, I need to pay this and this and this bill, or pay this and this person on the payroll. And then I need to take whatever's left from that and then use that to pay for maybe like dining out, coffee, clothes, things like that. Things that are kind of like fun money, right? After all the expenses. And then whatever is left after that is what I'll use to invest, put in my 401k, maybe invest into the stock market, maybe invest into property, save money, pay off debt. Most of us are in the last two camps. I'll use whatever's left after that to pay off debt and save money. But what if we thought about money completely different? What if we thought about when that big pile of money comes in, we say, what do I value? What do I really value doing with my money? Do I value giving it to charity? Do I value experiences with my family? Do I value, having a nice office? Do I value having, really nice smelling candles around my home during the fall time? Do I really value going on trips? Do I really value having nice clothes, right? What do we really value? And put some money there first. And it doesn't always have to be an expensive thing. Like I really valued when I was on my debt payoff journey, coffee. That was what I really valued. It just felt like this really nice thing to me. I got to experience when I was paying off my debt. It was the pandemic. So there really wasn't a lot of things I could spend my money on, but I really valued, putting my little baby, when she was my little baby, into her car seat and going to the Starbucks drive-thru. And I could do that. And that's what I really valued. And then I put money to my debt. That was my big thing. And also saving was a big thing, depending upon which part of the timeline you're looking at. So I was looking at saving money. I was looking at paying off debt. And then I questioned my expenses. I said, I want money to go to the things I value. I want money to go to paying off debt and saving money. Now, whatever is left, I'm going to make my expenses fit that. So you might be thinking like, Shannon, how do I make my expenses fit around this part, right? And this is what I want you to do. I really want you to get curious about your expenses. When I started implementing this method and this way of thinking, instead of the typical way, which is expenses first and then the fun second left over, which is why most people don't stick with the budget, because then it's just not fun at all, is they don't put like the fun and the goals first, is I started realizing that none of my expenses were fixed. That like, wait a second, I thought at one point in my business, I thought I always needed to have at least minimum $1,000 a month for my business to operate. And instead I found my bare bones number and realized there were times in my business could operate off like $115 a month instead of me saying it needs $1,000 a month to operate. Your expenses are not fixed. They can be changed. You can find ways for it to like change and shift to the things you actually want your money to do. So what I have for you is a little challenge of finding an extra $200 in your monthly expenses. So it could also look like you switch from, like I even found when I was going through my personal stuff too, I got my business down, and then I got my personal expenses down. I still had like, it was just like a $20 a month payment to a gym that I never went to, but it was a lot to cancel it. So I was like, why do I still have this payment coming out of my account? And if you add that up over a couple months, like it's nothing to sneeze at. Like it's a good amount of money, right? So I realized I needed to cancel that. Sometimes it was like the Audible membership somehow snuck into my account again. Sometimes it was just like, oh, I could just switch from, using this type of service to then using this type of service. Maybe instead if I used that one, it would be better, right? Or that it's cheaper or it just fits in my budget better, like just actually getting curious about your expenses instead of saying they need to be fixed, right? Like, this is how much exactly I have to spend. Well, is there something else? Is there a way to change this? What could I change? What would I be able to change? And I mean, even like encouraging people to go like the extreme route. And it doesn't mean you have to do this. It's just a way to really build up that curiosity muscle of like, okay, Shannon, well, I have to pay this much for the mortgage. I have to pay this much for rent. And then me saying to them, well, what if you moved back in with your parents, right? How much would you pay to live with them? Or what if you lived in a van? And I'm not encouraging anybody to actually do this. I'm just doing it as like a fun way to really get you to build the muscle, right? Like, okay, well, what if instead of living in New York City, you lived in Nebraska, right? Could that expense change? Well, of course it could. You're not going to do that, but it's a fun little exercise to be like, yes, that expense could change, right? So again, just a fun exercise. Not saying you have to move to Nebraska if you don't want to. If you do, great, just as a fun little exercise builder. Okay, so I want to know more about you. I want to know if you are fitting these columns right now as we have gone through these 3 days of the Lazy Girl Money Challenge. So, are you someone who currently is a six-figure earner? And that could be through your business, that could be through a salary you receive, it could be through your spouse's business or salary. You've come into a new level of wealth. Is there any of those that feel like they resonate that you are like, yes, I'm one of those people? Do you have debt or have you paid off debt and got back into it in the last couple months? Have you tried budgeting on your own through an Excel spreadsheet, through some other type of app? Maybe you've even tried using Profit First if you are a business owner, or you've had some kind of money management system and it's just not working right now. It's not doing what you thought would be happening. But do you desire to be a woman who is financially empowered? You want to feel peace and clarity around your money. If you answered yes, I want to tell you about some ways I might be able to help you get there. I want you to be able to live 30 days ahead of your expenses. I've been able to do this with my clients. I've been able to get them 30 days ahead of their expenses by the third session. I want you to be able to understand where your money is going and what it's doing, and really seeing that ultimate clarity around your financial portfolio. I had a lot of my clients, well, almost all of my clients get money clarity by the end of month one. They're actually understanding where their money is going, what it's been doing, and then we will be adjusting in month two with them. Do you want to be able to pay yourself a salary if you run your own business? I've helped a lot of my clients go from paying themselves nothing to almost paying themselves a six-figure salary without their business needing to make more before they could do that. So, I want to invite you to become a cash flow queen along with me and my other clients and students who have been along on this journey. So, what it is about is it's a 3-step system that I offer in the Cash Flow Queen. The first thing we do is we create the Abundant Financial Plan. We learn all about You Need a Budget, which is the financial software that I use and that I teach my clients to use. I teach about enough money. It's enough money to do the things we want. How can we make this money work for us without that pesky, excuse of I need to make more money? We get rid of that and we just say this money is enough. How can we make it fit with the goals and the fun and the expenses, right? And then we go into the third step, which is actually, how will I be able to pay off my debt, Shannon? What would that date even look like? I've been able to do that with a lot of my clients with YNAB, is saying like, okay, here is like a date we can set, and this is when you will be debt free. And then actually making, when we can save, how we can save, how much money we will save. And then again, coming up with a date for that too. I've done that with several of my clients. So if this sounds like you, I want to invite you on this journey to become a cash flow queen. In the first 30 days of this program, we set up You Need a Budget. We learn how to use You Need a Budget to its full potential. You Need a Budget, like I've said before previously, is that I have used that as an expense tracker. So I've used it as a passive budget, and really it's meant to be used as zero sum budgeting. And it wasn't until I actually understood YNAB's 4 rules and how to do a zero sum budget that I was able to harness the power of it. So a lot of people I know when they first come into Cashflow Queen have looked at YNAB, tried YNAB, and then just never really got the hang of it. There is definitely a learning curve. That is why YNAB has a coach certified program, which I am, because there is this entire philosophy and money management system behind it that you can't just jump right in and start budgeting your money with it. You actually need someone to like hold your hand and walk you through why the system is different and how it works. I'll also dive in deep to your personality. I like to use the Enneagram because that to me really gets clear on what your values are. So we won't go into your budget and create a budget that's for someone else. We'll create a budget that's actually tailored to you. So as we're going along and creating your budget and your money management system, if you are someone who loves, experiences, and I look at your budget and you have no money allocated to, maybe going to like Italy or going on a trip, or maybe just going to like that new town that weekend, doing something sporadically, I'm going to say, hey, listen, this budget's not going to work for you. We need to have a little bit of that leisure room, that leisure money for you to be able to travel. That's what we'll do at the end of the first 30 days. Then going into month 2, what we have to start talking about is why you get to have a new money story when it comes to you being a person who pays off debt, when it comes to you being a person who saves money, and when it comes to you being a person who invests money. Then what we're going to do is we're going to delegate the outflow, the inflow of your money before it's spent, because now we've already had our 30 days of seeing what your money does, where it goes. Now we go into month 2, and before you spend a penny, we're going to say, give every dollar a job, and we're going to figure out where you want that money to go. Then we come up with the debt payoff plan, and we come up with the personalized savings goal with a savings goal date too as well. Then the last part, the very last part of the Cashflow Queen coaching program, we're going to step into month 3. And this is the most exciting part because we've tracked your expenses. We've seen where your money leaks are. We've seen what's happened. Now we came into month 2. We're like prepared. We're setting savings goals. We're setting debt payoff goals. We're looking at where the money is going. We're making sure every dollar has a job. Now month 3 is all about the sabotages that might pop up. So we've probably gone through 30 days of having You Need a Budget set up, of having this, really exciting energy around this month is going to be the month when we start making our money do what we want. And what happens then by month 3 is like those little sabotage stories start to pop up. Those little things of, I can't put money to my savings. I can't put money to my debt. I have to put money here. Oh, this thing happened. This thing popped up. And it's going to be like, fine. We're going to go with it, but we're going to take care of all these stories and excuses you're having around you not being able to be this person who is financially empowered, around you now being this person who is, the richest of your friends group, the most empowered, the most financially responsible, right? As I've talked about before, we're going to squash any of those things that come up. And probably in this month, there might be some bumps. There might be a surprise bill that comes up. This is life. Life will always have surprise bills every single month, right? You're always trying to get ahead every single month. And this month is the month when we really start to actually put all of this stuff into focus. Like, this is when I'm going to be like, all right, here's our month when we like take off, when you take off with this journey, when you figure out where you truly want to be with your money, and we make these decisions and actions happen. All right. So that is the Cashflow Queen 90-day coaching program. If you are ready, if you feel like I need this program, I'm so sick of making over 6 figures and then just never having anything to show for it, because yes, we all know I've been there, right? I was at 98,000, but 6 figure, we'll say 6 figures, and I have been there too. So what I want you to invite you to do is I want you to schedule a money reading session with me. Now, the great thing about these money reading sessions, it's not like a typical discovery call. You're going to hop on the call. We go through some questions, and then I try to sell you on the Cashflow Queen. We're not going to do that here. This is really all just about scheduling your money reading. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get an idea of your Enneagram, and I'm going to get an idea of your financial portfolio. How much money are you bringing in? How much debt do you have? How much savings do you have? I ask you all these questions on a form before we chat. And then from there, I can really get a clear picture of, are you a good fit for Cash Flow Queen? But also, I'm also going to give you a personalized financial plan. And no, I'm not just going to give you some like quick tips or whatever. This is going to be like me, like being like, hey, like this is your Enneagram. This is what you value, I can tell from this personality test. And this is what you're going to need to do with your money. And then I'll say, these are the details of Cash Flow Queen. Would you like to come in? No, yes, need some time. Okay, cool. All right, moving on. Now, for these chats, because you are actually walking away with something, I do charge for these sessions. So it's $39 to have the one-on-one money reading with me. But I feel like I really just wanted to offer this. I offer these at low cost because I really love being able to get in and see everyone's financial portfolios, see what type of Enneagram they are, see what types of things they value, see what's really going on with their money, and just making it just like a low cost offer. Just like, this is a way for me to get insight to more of my clients and things that they might come up against. And then just being like, all right, like, here's your personalized financial plan. Here's some details about Cash Flow Queen. I'd love to have you in. If not, all right, cool. So if you would like to schedule one, here's the link right here. Go to bit.ly/moneyreading39 and schedule your money reading. And I'd love to just hop on the phone with you with anything. If you don't go into Cash Flow Queen, totally fine. I would just love to see more Enneagrams on my calls, see what different types of ones I get, and see whether I'm spot on or spot off about Enneagrams and budgeting. I would really love to just chat with you more. Even if you just have some feedback for this lazy girl money challenge, what were things you loved? What were things you hated? Is there something that's still confusing? Is there something I talked about too much? Do I talk with my hands too much? I think I might. All right. I would love to chat with you and talk with you more personally, one-on-one. Again, schedule your money reading, bit.ly/moneyreading39 to schedule yours. And hopefully I will see some of you guys on the call. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging around. This has been awesome. I hope you have got so much juicy content and info from this presentation. I hope you have learned where maybe some pitfalls might be happening with your money. Yes. All right. See you guys soon. Bye.